on this day, the 16th of January, 1245, the birth of Edmund Crouchback, Earl of Lancaster. Edmund was the second surviving son of King Henry III and his wife Eleanor of Provence. Henry had big plans for his second son. When Edmund was just 10, Henry paid Pope Innocent IV to have Edmund proclaimed King of Sicily. It was part of the papacy's ongoing problems with the Holy Roman Emperor, who was the de facto King of Sicily. And it proved an expensive red herring. 3 years later, Pope Alexander IV withdrew the grant. In 1265, Edmund was created Earl of Leicester by his father, and 2 years later he was also made Earl of Lancaster. He was known by this later title, and is considered the founder of the House of Lancaster, which would, 130 years later, come to rule England. Edmund joined his brother Prince Edward on the Ninth Crusade in 1271. This is believed by many to have been the root of his nickname Crouchback, a derivation of crossback, referring to his right to wear a crusader's cross sewn onto his cloak that was granted by his participation in the Ninth Crusade. When his descendant, Henry IV, claimed the throne for the House of Lancaster, he charted his descent from Edmund and based his claim initially on the assertion that Edmund had been the oldest son of Henry III, but had been prevented from succeeding because of his crouch back, suggesting a physical disability. This, Henry claimed, meant that he was the rightful king all along, and Edward I should never have held the crown. Henry would drop this story pretty quickly though, because everyone saw it for the nonsense that it was. When his brother succeeded their father in 1272, Edmund proved a loyal subject to King Edward I. In 1276, after the death of his young wife Aveline without any children, Edmund married Blanche of Artois and began to use the title Count Palatine of Champagne and Brie. He abandoned this when Philip IV of France declared all English holdings in Gascony forfeit. He returned to England and to his brother's side. In 1281, Edmund oversaw the building of Aberystwyth Castle as part of his brother's efforts to subdue Wales. When, in 1295, Edward was ready to lead an assault on Gascony to reclaim his lands there, he appointed Edmund Lieutenant of Gascony, intending to give him a prominent part in the campaign. Instead, Edmund fell ill. He did travel to France in the new year, but died in July 1296, aged 51, in Aquitaine. He was buried at Westminster Abbey, a mark of his brother's respect and gratitude for his support. Edmund was succeeded by his oldest son Thomas. When he died without any children, his brother Henry became Earl of Lancaster. Henry's great-granddaughter was Blanche of Lancaster, the first wife of John of Gaunt and mother of the future King Henry IV, the first Lancastrian king, who would do a disservice to his ancestors' reputation in return for political gain. It didn't work for Henry, and Edmund deserves to be remembered as a crusader and a loyal servant of his brother the king.